Hi, so FYI, I do not feel well. So I'm going to try to change the sound on this video. So if I am too loud or too low, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. Now, let me get into these Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em first and foremost because this team needed this adversity. We need some adversity. We need to figure out who we are. I usually wait until about week 5, week 6 to kind of figure out what I think these teams are. And right now, I don't know who Texas is, but there are some things that I feel like keep showing up and I have to start believing them. At this point, this offensive line, not very good. This offensive line is not doing things that make sense. I do want to say here that the offense as a whole is a liability. I don't really know if it's Coach Sark that is making this offense a liability or if it is the execution, because there were some plays. There were about 2-3 plays I remember in this game specifically where guys were wide open. We just couldn't make the play. So I don't want to go as far to say that Coach Sark is the problem on offense 100% because he's calling up plays that should work. It's just we're either not blocking them correctly or guys are wide open and we cannot hit them. And so right now, Texas is facing some adversity. Good for them. I am glad that we're on the road. I'm glad that we got to see what it felt like. I'm glad that we are figuring out who we are. And so right now, I think this Texas team is a decent football team. Do I think they're a good football team? No, I think that they're decent. The other thing I want to call out here that I think sometimes happens whenever we're looking at these football games is we want to always blame somebody. We want to say the defense isn't good because of this. The offense isn't good because of this. We want to blame Arch Manning for the offense not being good, and then we want to just blame the defense for not being good all around. I think multiple things can be true here. I think that Arch Manning cannot be playing up to standard that a lot of you have set for him. Like I say and will continue to say, my standard for Arch Manning is to be a game manager. I need him to not turn the ball over. That is my goal for Arch Manning. Don't be the reason why we lose games. And today, yes, he had those 2 turnovers, but we still had chances to win this football game. One of the things that I said before the season started is I wanted to see how tough Arch Manning was. And I think in this game, I got to see how tough he is. I got to see him get his ass handed to him on multiple times. I got to see him get hit in the pocket and pressured. I got to see him look uncomfortable, and I got to see him continuously picking himself back up. Those are the things that I was going into the season wondering, who is Arch Manning? Is he tough? Is he still going to be a leader when he's having a bad game? What is he going to do when his offensive line falls apart? What is he going to do on the road when it's not looking good and he doesn't know what to do? What Arch Manning is going to show up? Is Arch Manning perfect? No, I don't think the man's ever going to be perfect. However, is he fighting? Is he tough? Is he getting himself up? Yes. And sometimes I know that we want these college athletes to go hang the moon and to be perfect and do all these things. Spoiler, these NFL athletes aren't even that. We have to manage our expectations correctly when it comes to college football. And so for me, I enjoyed watching Arch Manning fight. I enjoyed watching Arch Manning pick himself up off the field and try to do better. I like that and I appreciated that from him. But this offensive line is a problem. This offensive line is a huge problem for the Texas Longhorns, and some guys and things that I saw happening on this offensive line today are a little bit concerning. The other thing I want to say here too is Florida on defense is a good defensive football team. And I said in my preview, whoever is going to have good offense this game is going to win because both of these defenses are just going to do what they're going to do. And so Florida's offense played better than the Texas offense because I'm starting to realize the Texas offense just isn't very good. And so I can blame Arch Manning a little bit. I can blame this offensive line a little bit. If you want to blame Coach Sark's play calling, I can't say much about that. But when you are calling plays and guys are wide open and we cannot make the plays, that is a bigger issue. So I think this entire offense is a liability. And I think this entire offense has been a liability. This is now the 2nd year. And that is a problem for this Texas team. Because if your defense is getting scored on and then your offense comes back and has 4 plays, 5 plays, taking off 2 minutes on the play clock, and now your defense has to roll back out on the field, that is not playing balanced football. I don't expect a defense to hold when the offense can't move the ball accordingly. A defense should not have to always get stops for a team to win. And right now, it feels like this Texas team, the defense has to continuously get stops for this Texas offense to score points. That's not going to work. This team is being carried by this defense. And because this defense was not able to hold against Florida, the offense couldn't step up and do their jobs. That is unacceptable. This has to balance. The scales have to balance. I can't be sitting at home hoping that my defense continues to get stops and then eventually my offense scores. That's not how this is supposed to work. So this offense has to step up. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. This offense has to step up. They have to score more points. They have to be consistent. And yes, I get it. Everyone wants to talk about Arch Manning because you believed the hype. You fell into the hype and now you're disgusted with Arch Manning. That is a you problem. That's not a me problem because I never fell into the hype. I never assumed Arch Manning was going to hang the moon. And because all I wanted Arch to do was be a game manager and not be the reason why we lose games, in my opinion, he's kind of right where he's supposed to be. The one thing I will tell you about Arch is he did not give up in this football game. He kept fighting in this football game. No matter how many times we got first downs that got called back because we can't stop holding, no matter how many times his offensive line got false starts, no matter how many times they makeshift this offensive line, Arch Manning kept fighting for this football game. And what's crazy, they had a chance to win this game. So I get it. We all want to say Arch Manning is bad. We all want to say all of these great big opinions. I don't think that's how football works. It is not that simple. It is not as simple as saying one guy is bad, so the whole team is bad. There are things on this Texas team that they have to fix. Speaking of things that they have to fix, it is unacceptable to have 10 plus penalties in a football game consistently in every single football game. That is unacceptable. That is bad football. That is not good. There's nothing that I can say to you right now that tells me that this Texas team is doing what they need to be doing in penalties. 10 plus penalties a game is pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. Pre-snap penalties over and over and over and over are pathetic. Now, I will say, Brooks, 71 on that Texas offensive line, is a true freshman from Iowa. So I'll give him a little bit of grace, but we can't continuously do it. I need to see you getting better over time. I did not see that today, but I need to see that going forward, and I need this offensive line to step up and just be better. The other thing that honestly frustrated me too was the blocked punt. That is unacceptable. Penalties, unacceptable. Block punts, that's unacceptable. I don't know what this Texas team has going on, but there are a lot of things that I saw today that I was actually kind of surprised to see coming out of a bye week. And I hope it gets fixed because you know what? This is a long year. This is a long season. Can you win or lose the entire season based off this game? No, like this is just what it is. This is the process. The offensive line has me concerned, and this team is going to go as far as this offense can take them. This offense can't take them far with this offensive line. It just cannot happen. And it's very unfortunate too to see some of the things and the ways that things are playing out because I just need this Texas team to do better. That is what I need. I need them to do better. Before I end this video, there's something I want to say, well, mainly because I feel like I'm shouting at the camera, so I don't know how this is going to come across. Anthony Hill Jr. making the decision to basically jump across the line when we were on defense, when they had gained 9 yards on first down, when the clock is moving, we have no timeouts, I actually think was brilliant. Because what he did was he went ahead and gave them the first down. And so when you go ahead and you give them the first down and then things reset, I think that allowed Texas to get the ball back with more time on the clock. Because if he would not have done that, if you think about if he would not have done that, Florida would have probably been able to run 3 more plays or more plays because they would have gotten a first down on the next play and the clock is still ticking. So him inadvertently or on purpose, or you call it whatever you want, I hope he did it on purpose, was actually smart because I think it gave us the ball back with more time on the clock. Now, obviously, Texas didn't win this football game, all right? We fall to 3-2 on the season, and guess what? Next on the schedule is the Oklahoma Sooners, and we're going to go to Dallas, and we're going to play Oklahoma. Do I know what's going to happen in that game? No. But I need Texas to continue to fight, and I need Texas to continuously get better. And I need to see Arch continuing to get better because there are some things that Arch Manning did in this football game. And I was like, okay, that looks pretty decent. And I will continue to say throughout this whole year that this offense cannot be a liability. That includes Arch Manning. And I need him to not turn the football over. That would be great. I don't know what the rest of the season holds. I don't know who this Texas team is going to be. Right now, we're a team that is bad on offense and a team that is decent on defense. That's the best I have for you right now. Will they get better? Will they improve? There's still a ton of season left. There's still a ton of opportunities for them to improve. And when I'm looking across the SEC, they still have chances to improve. So I'm going to end this video here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Sorry if my voice was going in and out. I'm going to try to put a filter on the sound so that it sounds halfway decent. But thank you for being here. Hook 'em, and I'll see you in my next video.